Okay, so picture this. Picture you being the CEO of your own life. You are the overall boss and the one who makes all of the decisions. But in order to help manage, kind of maneuver everything on your plate, you decide to hire an executive assistant. You've seen her resume, you've seen all of her experience, you know that she's done miracles for other people. So you decide to hire her because she's truly the perfect fit for the role and can really help you manage some stressful things on your plate. Plus, you're too busy to be handling all of the stress yourself. But the crazy thing is, once she's hired, once she's already gotten the job, once you've given her the job, you feel like you cannot let go of any of the tasks because you're just thinking to yourself, no one could do this better than me. I've been doing this for so long, so why could it be possible that someone can actually do it better than me? This is exactly what happens when you choose to carry all of your burdens instead of leaning into trust and letting go. Instead of living a life of ease, you live in a life of constant hustle because you're taking on all of your stress. In the scenario that I just gave you, you're the CEO, but a higher power, whatever you believe in, is the executive assistant. You've seen what it can do for others. You know exactly what it's capable of. But you're so scared to let go of whatever control you think you have. But living a life of ease truly starts when you finally realize that you don't have to carry it all. The need to feel like you're in control of everything constantly has literally proven to only lead to burnout. When you let go of all of this, you're making space for peace. Trusting in something bigger than you, trusting that things will work out for you is not a weakness. It's literally the ultimate power move. It's giving yourself permission to focus on what truly matters to you and letting something bigger than you that literally loves you more than you could even ever love you handle the rest. So I know what you may be thinking. How do I let go when this already feels so hard? You may be going through some really challenging times or some really difficult emotions, and letting go or living a life of ease may feel like something that's so far away, something that you can't have right here and right now. You may feel like you have too much to lose. Well, if any of this resonates with you so far, keep watching because this video is for you. Hey everyone, welcome back to Just Like Magic with Julia. Today we are talking about the secrets to living a life of ease and basically having the ambition, having the will to do all of these amazing things in your life and create your dream life, but to do it without the hustle. But before we get into it, you know I'm going to tell you all that you have to subscribe. All of my gems that are currently subscribed know that we get into some life-changing topics on this channel. Now, if you're new, if you just found me, welcome. Get ready to manifest the life of your dreams because this is what it's all about. Literally, if you keep watching some of these videos, you will be in connection to your highest self and just feel as though nothing is too good for you to manifest. That is exactly what I created this community for. So please, please, please subscribe. When you subscribe, I can almost guarantee that your manifestations and desires will come into fruition just like magic. Also, y'all, I'm gonna need you to start commenting because I'm really gonna need you to start telling me what you want to see more of. Like, these are just the topics that come to my mind, but I want to start really creating content that's specific to what my subscribers want to see. So let me know in the comments what it is that you would like to see more of, any questions that you have about manifestation, self-love, lifestyle. I'm here to be your guide. So comment, and let me know. So if you just got here, I'm going to give you the secret formula, and then we're going to dive into how to actually attain the secret formula. Okay, so are you ready? This is Math Class 101. A life of ease equals taking away all of the difficulty, all of the stress, and all of the burden that you invoke on yourself and adding peace. So let's get into it really quickly. Let's talk about this soft life, this life of ease that you want to attract. And when I say soft life, when I say life of ease, like, I know that there's some videos or trends on living a soft life aesthetically, physically, right? But I'm talking about really living a soft life at your core, living a life of ease that you wake up and really feel at your core, not just aesthetically, not just materialistically. Now, I do have a fabulous soft girl routine that I can definitely make another video on. But for the sake of this video, we are talking about living a soft life at your core. So living a life of ease at your core is really about choosing peace over struggle. It's about alignment over hustle and really understanding that life doesn't need to be a battle in order to elevate. You can get to where you want to be. You can attract all of your dreams, all of your desires, reach all of your goals without feeling like there's a burden on your back. I'm not gonna lie, I feel like as someone who has just recently stepped into this soft life era of mine, I've been getting a lot of criticism because I feel like a lot of people don't understand that a soft life doesn't equate to being lazy. And a lot of people feel like a soft lifestyle is unrealistic because we've been so conditioned in society to believe that struggle is the only path to success. And that's why people really say things like no pain, no gain constantly, because they truly believe that work has to be hard. And in order to reach a level of success, there has to be some sort of pain. Now, I definitely do believe that pain can lead to success, especially if you're someone who learns a lot through the pain, finds resilience in the pain, and really just rises out of it all and levels up after going through something really hard. There's definitely truth in that. My point is that you don't have to go through that in order to attain what you desire. Things don't have to be painful. You may endure pain along the way. You may endure stress. Those are things that are always going to happen whether we're chasing dreams or not, because that's just a part of life. But it doesn't mean that everything that you do has to be done with carrying the burden of the pain, of the stress, of the difficulty, of the challenges. Now, personally, I came from a household where both of my parents always expressed to me from a really young age that my grandparents had to work really, really hard as immigrants just to survive. And in turn, my parents adapted that mentality too and did the same thing. And because of that, I think that both of them really believed that success only comes from sacrifice and struggle, which in turn, unintentionally maybe, they tried to pass down to me. And honestly, they succeeded for a while. But as I grew up, I knew that that couldn't be my truth because I was literally making myself mentally and physically sick trying to do things that way. Not to mention, emotionally and spiritually, I felt torn up. Things were just really hard because I was coming from a perspective where I felt pressure, and I felt discouraged as a result of that pressure to even have dreams or to chase my dreams. I have always had really, really, really ambitious dreams. And so imagine growing up, you want to do these things. My desire to do them never left. And so that just meant that in my head, I had to work 20 times harder. And it felt like I had to literally like break a door down in order to get what I wanted. It felt like every time I would try to knock the door down, I would get weaker and nothing would happen. And when I would think about all of the hard work that needed to be done between where I was then and the dream that I had, I would literally feel so discouraged because it truly felt like it was impossible. And that's where I knew I had to find a solution and change my mindset and my outlook on life. Now, throughout my journey of doing so, I learned that most people really equate hard work to success. Most people equate overworking themselves to the point where they can't even function in other areas of their lives and struggling to being deserving. And aside from cultural or generational experiences, most people have learned to tie their work ethic with their self-worth. They feel like stress or struggle becomes proof that they've earned what they have. Now, I want to make a disclaimer. I'm not saying that anyone who has been stressed before, who has struggled, is not actually worth what they have. As someone who has done those things, as someone who has come from an extremely different level of life to where I am right now, I can attest to the fact that the struggle and the stress do make you feel worthy of being deserving. But I want to tell you that there's a better way. You don't have to put yourself through all of that extra burden. You don't have to take home some of the burdens that come along with life. You can enjoy life and work hard and still be deserving and still be worthy. Because when you associate your own personal worth and value with the effort that you're putting in, you'll find that it can get really, 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 really hard to continuously validate yourself and not feel like you're extremely tired or burnt out. I've seen people even be in like secret hustling competitions that they make up in their own mind just to prove to themselves that they work harder than someone else. People really feel like if they're always busy, if they're always exhausted, then they're proving to someone else that they're worthy, that they're doing stuff. that they're doing enough and they deserve praise for that. Now, again, y'all are not going to twist my words, okay? Hard work does deserve praise, but we don't want the people in our lives to feel like the only way they get praise is through their work ethic. They deserve praise just for being themselves. We deserve praise just for being ourselves. People don't realize that when they become obsessed with hustling, they are actually living in survival mode. And if you really think about it, that's mainly rooted in fear and scarcity and at the expense of peace. If you're trying to attract abundance into your life, if you're trying to attract a full life of ease, of peace, of softness, of blessings, you can't be living out of fear. And if you're constantly a person who's living in fear and unable to find peace because you're always so obsessed and living in this hustling mode, what's the point? I think a lot of people nowadays hustle beyond just survival. And sometimes we chase things that we think will bring us happiness. But if you're too caught up in stress and fear and too busy and stressed to actually enjoy the things that you're working towards that you feel will bring you happiness, then how does it make sense? But if you're too caught up in fear and stress and can't actually enjoy the things that you're working towards that you feel will bring you happiness, then what's the point? Now, if you don't know, now you know. I'm a Barb. And Nicki has this song where she literally says, I fly with the stars in the skies. I am no longer trying to survive. I believe that life is a prize, but to live doesn't mean you're alive. Now, regardless of what you feel about Nicki, which you can't feel anything because that's my girl, and she's the queen. But regardless, like, that literally goes to show working tirelessly just to prove you're enough is not enough. Now, I know some of us have to work tirelessly to make ends meet, to provide. But regardless of who you are and what your story is, as humans, we are not created to just work hard and grind so hard that we're unable to find fulfillment and internal peace. And if you're doing that, you're not living, you're literally just surviving. Now, living a soft life does not mean you stop working towards your goals or taking actions towards your goals. It's about letting go of the idea that success has to come with stress, with struggle, with burnout, and that your successes define who you are. It's all about actually approaching life with ease and alignment. Now I'm going to stop right here because I feel like if 17-year-old me was watching this right now, she would be screaming at the video like, well, if it's all that simple, why do stressful events keep coming up? Why do people keep telling me that I need to do X, Y, and Z to be a certain type of person, to be valued in life? And I really want to emphasize that comparison really is the thief of all joy. No matter who you are, no matter what you're actually passionate about, what your purpose is, you are worthy of pure happiness, of pure love, of pure luxury. And I know that as people, sometimes we create stress and pressure on ourselves because we feel like if we do not attain or accomplish certain things in our life, then we're not living up to our potential or actually worthy. But I'm here to tell you that that is not true at all. You are worthy just because you're here, plain and simple. And living a soft life doesn't mean that stressful events just stop showing up. Trust me, I wish. But stressful events are always bound to appear. That's just life. And as long as we are living, we are literally almost guaranteed challenges sometimes. But it's how we approach these challenges that actually determines the lifestyle we live. Now, a person with hustle mentality, aka 17-year-old me, would approach stressful situations with a mindset of urgency, with pressure, which can really pour over into your mental health. I know for me, when I did that, I would create so much anxiety for myself. But someone living a soft lifestyle approaches those situations with a more balanced mindset. Now, instead of responding with panic, with pressure, because they know that this stressful situation does not define them, right? And that it's just another stressful situation that they will get past, they take a step back to really assess the situation at hand for what it is and think about how they can approach it that's also aligns with their feelings and their well-being. The difference is that with a hustle mentality, you see stress as something that you have to endure, that you have to carry. But with a soft lifestyle, with a soft mindset, you see it as something that you can handle with grace, which is something that also brings you peace. You can still level up. You can still put in work. Actually, no, you have to level up. You have to put in work. but you can do those things without difficulty. Now, the key to adapting to this mindset shift is by really understanding that stressors are inevitable, unfortunately, but the power is in how we choose to approach them and handle them. Now, certain people in my life know that these two next words are literally like words I use all the time because life is full of balance and duality. I'll say it again if you didn't hear me the first time. Life is full of balance and duality. Everything has a contrast. Both light and dark, both good and bad. They coexist. So let me give you a few examples of how this concept works. While we all have stressors, we also all have the resilience to overcome them. While we all have fears or worst case scenarios that align with the craziest catastrophe that invokes the craziest amount of fear in us, we all have the ability to survive it and to overcome it. You can't necessarily win every battle, but that's okay because that's the beauty of balance. And sometimes we just don't want to accept that good and bad coexist, light and dark coexist. We want to really just zone out all of the bad, all of the dark, because it's human nature to just want to focus on the good. I was someone who, if a challenge was given to me or if a stressor presented itself, I just wanted to get through it. I never wanted to think about how I could actually overcome it or how I could be resilient. But instead, that made the challenge so much more difficult for me. It actually gave the challenge more power than it did to myself. But once we accept the truth that we have a choice in all of this, we free ourselves from the need to control and we loosen up our grip and we begin to find and attract that peace I mentioned earlier. And I know that it's really hard to accept that multiple truths can exist and to accept that you actually have a choice in all of this, because then it feels like you actually have to do something about it, and that can be really hard. It's a calling to you that's signaling that you do have the power to overcome certain things. But by doing this, you're going to be able to embrace life as it happens without having this like extreme resistance. Like I said, I was one of those people who would be faced with a challenge and I would dread it. I would give myself so much anxiety looking to that challenge and kind of thinking if I failed, then that would define me as a person. But in reality, every single person on this earth has a stressor, has multiple stressors. They may just all be different and you may not know about it, but every single person has it. And when you actually accept your stressors, you stop giving them the power. You stop resisting. You stop pushing them away, and you actually are able to take control, because it's a power move that will actually allow you to focus on what you can control. And in order to do this, we all have to acknowledge that struggle and ease can exist side by side because we choose how to handle them. And again, like, I want you to understand that as someone who really did go through an intense hustling period of my life, an intense grind mode in my life, I understand what it's like to have so much at risk that you feel like if you don't hustle, if you don't give it your all, you literally have so much at risk that you can't even feel like you can do it any other way. But truthfully, that's only because I know what it was like to live in fear. And when you're living in fear, all it attracts is more fear. Because when you're hustling so hard and you're putting so much pressure on your success or yourself, or, things going one certain way and not being open to how whatever higher power you believe in has already deemed it to go, you're bringing on more struggle for yourself. You're not releasing anything. And you're basically just going to live in a life of burden, even when you do feel like you reach a point or the pinnacle that you're dreaming of. It took me literally feeling like I was going to lose everything to learn this lesson. So I know it to be 100% true, because by releasing control of everything, I actually was able to receive everything I wanted. And sometimes we get so caught up in our own stories that we feel like if we don't hustle, we lose our importance. But accepting that this is not the way was really hard for me, but it's so true, because once you accept it, you step into a life of constantly being important no matter what you're doing. You can manifest anything without struggle. In fact, when you release struggle, you let go and embrace all that's around you, which brings you more so much faster. When you prioritize a life of ease, you're prioritizing yourself, because you're acknowledging that you're deserving of actually enjoying your experience in life. Realizing this and realizing that you only have one life to live is a key step in understanding that you're the foundation of your experience here. It's not about looking for or waiting for validation or approval or doing things like they've been done to you, modeled for you, or pleasing society. It's about choosing to show up for yourself first. And when you recognize your worth and your value, you can finally embrace your deserving right to peace. You create the space to experience life as it's meant to be lived with ease and alignment. But remember, the choice is yours. I'll leave you all with this. I was watching a video by Stephen Furtick because I love Stephen Furtick, and I was actually falling asleep because I love to fall asleep with positive energy on whether it's music or, a YouTube video. I actually woke up out of my sleep when he said this line, so I knew it was meant to be to write it down. It was something Mother Teresa said when someone asked her how she had so much clarity over her own life. And she said, I never asked for clarity. I never prayed for clarity. I prayed for alignment. And I think that's so beautiful, and it ties in perfectly into this video, because when you're aligned and when you're trusting and when you're literally trusting a higher power to align you with the plan of your life, you gain clarity on its own because you're trusting. But the only way that you can truly trust and that you can truly just embrace peace is to shift your mindset from what you can control and leave the rest behind and let it go. Now, I hope that this video inspired you to truly start embracing a life of ease, a soft life. If you have any questions or if you want me to dive deeper into how you can begin living a soft life, please let me know in the comments. I hope that regardless of who you are or what you're experiencing and manifesting, that you receive so many blessings. Until next time, I'll see you soon. Bye.